Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's science-backed support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
And this is K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas. And welcome back to another episode. We are going to review Our Blues today. And for this episode, I am joined by Curtis from Infatuasian podcast. Hey, Curtis, how are you?
Hey, Jess, how's it going?
It's going well. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. And I also have Brandon from the Pocha Playlist podcast. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing well. Thank you for the invitation. It's my first time on here. You did an episode with Jenny from Pocha Playlist a few episodes back, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I think that was on Goblin, right?
Yeah, we did Goblin, and then she came back and we did You're Beautiful, that throwback. And that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So I am so glad that you were keen to join for Our Blues, because I'm told that you really love Our Blues. And the same goes for you, Curtis, that you are both fans of this show and could bring a lot to the table, maybe a lot of context, and just we're glad to talk through this show. And this was my first time watching this show, so I was like, I need people who have been kind of simmering in this already, and I'm super excited to get going on this. Really quick, what are you guys watching recently, and what are you guys enjoying in the Asian drama world? If you guys don't mind just kind of sharing what's on your plate right now.
Pocha Playlist just finished reviewing Midnight Romance in Hagwon that has Wi Ha-jun in his first leading role in a romance. That was great. And we are going to be wrapping up Atypical Family. That's a drama that me and my co-host Andy, we really like that drama for this year. I think we're going to rank it pretty well.
Yeah, same. I just finished an episode on an Atypical Family. Loved it as well. And actually, currently, for better or for worse, I am watching Miss Day and Night.
Miss Day and Night
has some actors from Our Blues. There's a couple actors from Our Blues in there. So, I won't give any opinions on that one just yet. We got a couple more weeks on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I did a big poll the other day on my Instagram stories to see what people were feeling. We are just past the halfway mark in 2024. See what people are feeling about the best dramas of 2024, and overwhelmingly people were saying An Atypical Family was their favorite drama, was the best drama of 2024, followed by Lovely Runner, I think.
Lovely Runner.
Yeah, those two were the top two of the year.
Yeah, Pocha approved that one.
Yeah, I know. So this is exciting. I can't wait to get going. But before we do, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. And if you like us, give us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That goes a long way. And come check us out on social media to stay up to date on our latest episodes and reviews. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at TebakPod. Lastly, if you're a fan, please consider becoming a patron. It's a great way for you to get involved and show your support. You can check out the page on patreon.com/alwayscriticpod. Thank you to Janet, Curtis, Bale, CD, Alana, Grace, Lorna, Sammy, Caitlin, Julia, Michelle, Tenmei, Erin, Marta, Delphia, Maria, and Kelly, 2 new patrons. Thank you so much for being patrons. Okay, so we are going to get going on Our Blues. This is actually going to be pretty difficult for us because there are so many people in this cast. There are so many storylines that we can talk about. We're going to do our best to talk about as many as we can within a reasonable time frame because we're not made of time. So we're going to
Get comfortable, people.
Get
This could be a while.
Yeah. So here we go. Then I put together this like Frankenstein of a Netflix/Wikipedia synopsis, and here it is, really quick. Romance is sweet and bitter, and life riddled with ups and downs in multiple stories about people who live and work on bustling Jeju Island. The series revolves around the sweet and bitter lives of people at the end, climax, or beginning of life, and depicts their stories in an omnibus format, which is basically telling stories of diverse characters that are somewhat interconnected in one way or the other. So, Our Blues aired from April to June 2022. I kind of feel that this, especially in terms of the international K-drama audience, this show was underrated. Flew under the radar for everybody. I think people were still reeling from 2521, which had just finished airing in this same time slot. Then Our Blues started. People were still all about 2521 and about the famous ending on that show. And then after Our Blues finished airing, it was preceded by Alchemy of Souls, which the international audience ate up with gusto. So, and coincidentally, both of those shows have episodes on the Tebox feed if you want to scroll back and listen to those. But I feel really badly about Our Blues, especially when it comes to its reception internationally, because I don't feel like it kind of got a chance to really get there, you know? It's 20 episodes long, so it's a little longer than I think people maybe nowadays, especially newer K-drama fans, are used to. But that is traditional format, 20 episodes long, so it was nice to see. Directed by Kim Ki-tae, he's directed a long list of dramas, including A Love to Kill from 2005, that's with Shin Min-na, Worlds Within, Iris with Lee Byung-gun. When I saw Iris on there, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Iris, bro. Padam Padam, which is with Han Jimin. All of these actors are in Our Blues.
Yeah.
That Winter That Wind Blows with Choi In-sung and Song Hye-kyo. He won Best Director at the 49th Baeksang Awards on this drama. He directed It's Alright, This Is Love from 2014, which is one of my favorite dramas. Super good drama. Secret Love, Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart Rio, which we covered at the end of last season, season 4, on the Daebak feed. If you want to go back and listen to that, he directed Live, and he will be directing The Trunk, which is a Netflix show airing sometime this year with Kong Yu as the star. So that's Kim Ki-tae, I think a very, very decorated and well-regarded director. He's been around for a minute or two, and he's worked with some top talent. Do you guys like this director? Do you like his stuff?
I haven't watched a ton of his stuff, to be honest. So, yeah, just looking at this list, I don't think I've watched any of these all the way through.
Ooh, okay.
Besides Our Blues. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't say that I've seen any of these titles, but I do know that like Moon Lover, Scarlet Heart, that's super popular. So that's always been on my list. I might have to check it out.
Okay, Godspeed. The show Our Blues was written. The show Our Blues was written by Noi Kyung. She's been writing dramas since the 90s. So this is just a few of the dramas that she's written. Her Beautiful Story from 2004. This stars Ko Do-shim. She's one of the actresses in Our Blues, Worlds Within, Padam Padam, That Winter the Wind Blows, It's Alright, This is Love. 4 of the same dramas that the director has directed. So she's worked with the director basically 5 times before Our Blues. And then Dear My Friends from 2016 she wrote with Kim Hye-ja, which is the terminal mom in Our Blues. This show won Best Screenplay at the 53rd Baeksang Awards. So really, really decorated and you know, she's been around for a while, screenwriter, pretty well tested, I would say. And in looking at this, I have watched Padam Padam, or at least I watched maybe like half of it, and then I kind of got a little sidetracked with another drama or whatever, and I basically dropped it out of like, I watched something else and then I never went back to it. But it wasn't like an intentional drop. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between a life happened and I watched something else and like, yeah, I didn't necessarily hate it. I would say that's a very spiritually very similar to our blues. Not that it's the same format, omnibus format with a lot of different interconnected stories, but I would say Lee Byung-hun's character is very similar to the male lead in Padam Padam. So when I saw that she had written that, I was like, both of the director and writer had worked on that. I was like, oh, that makes too much sense. So if you want something along those lines, check it out. And then we're going to get into this cast. So here we go. We're only going to we're going to talk about a handful of people in this cast at length, and then
because there's like 50 of them.
I want to get this out there. This is an all-star cast. This is a well-regarded, decorated cast. Okay? Every one of these people has been on TV screens, has worked with each other as well as the director and the writer before, and it's all intertwined. And there's a lot of history coming into the show and putting together. This is like Avengers Assemble here. And going through and making this spreadsheet, I would say, for this cast felt like making... Before Endgame, it was like, oh my God, we had to have watched all this stuff beforehand to get like the gravity of this movie. That's what it felt like making this. My sister called it flashcards when she saw what this looked like in here, because it's like their photo, the name of their character, their name, everything. So here we go. Lee Byung-hun plays Lee Dong-seok, a truck merchant who was born in Jeju. He has been in about 36 movies, including most recently Concrete Utopia. He's been in Emergency Declaration, The Fortress. He played the T-1000 in Terminator Genesis. You're already laughing. Memories of the Sword from 2015, which I really liked that movie for some reason. I watched it and was like, whoa, this is mind-blowing. And I tried to get it like in my own personal collection of Blu-rays. Masquerade from 2012, which is an excellent, excellent movie. It is the inspiration for the show The Crowned Clown. Again, excellent show. So a lot of movies here. Going even further back, I saw The Devil from 2010. I recently saw this movie, and I did experience a little bit of Satan in this movie, watching it. He won the Daesang, the grand prize, in 2011 at the Baeksang Awards for his role in I Saw the Devil. Totally deserved. He was in Iris the movie. This was back when the K-dramas, if they were so successful, they would do multiple seasons.
They made a sequel.
Rare. Then they would do another sequel that was a movie. So this was like the High School Musical blueprint, where it was like High School Musical, High School Musical 2, and then High School Musical 3 was in theaters, a theatrical release. That's Iris the movie. So other movies like Joint Security Area, Hero, Good, Bad, The Weird, tons of things. He's got nearly 26 credits from television. Squid Game is most recent, I think. He was frontman. Mr. Sunshine, Iris again. I bring up Iris because he won Best Actor at the 2010 Baeksang Awards for his role in Iris. I have to be honest, I did not finish Iris. When I first watched I just did not finish. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, love Mr. Sunshine. Love Squid Game. Yeah, he's classic. Yeah, he's great. Classic
K-drama and film actor. I kind of consider him more of a film actor, but how do you guys feel about Lee Byung-hun? I just love him, but
I definitely consider him a film actor, and I Saw the Devil is one of my favorite horror movies, and I have a great memory. My mom and I were visiting Korea, and she was like, oh, there's a new Lee Byung-hun movie, do you want to go watch it? And I was like, are you sure?
Oh no.
And she was like, yeah, it's Lee Byung-hun, we gotta go watch it. But she didn't know what it was going to be about.
You were like 12? How old were you?
You saw this with your mom?
Yeah, I was around that age. Yeah, but she didn't know what it was going to be about. And Min-sik is one of my favorite actors, and hers as well. He plays the villain in the movie.
Yes.
But her her face was in her hands the entire time. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh God. It's so concerning. Like the whole movie is pins and needles. Anyway, highly recommend. Definitely highly recommend it. And actually I have a poll up on the Patreon feed because there's a bunch of movies that I looking to cover maybe, but I can't cover them all, for spooky season, which is coming up really fast. And that's one of the movies that's on there. I don't know if people realize like what it is, and I'm really terrified to rewatch it, but I'll do it. I'll do it for the pod. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll brave it again.
For the content.
I'll do it for the pod.
Yeah.
So his mother in the show is played by Kim Hye-ja. She plays Kang Ok-dong, is the name of her character. This woman is prolific. She's the first and only person to have won the Taesang 4 times at the Baeksang Arts Awards in 79, 89, 2009, and 2019. She was on a almost like Days of Our Lives, but the show was called Country Diaries, in which she appeared for 22 years. And this is notable because it made her a household name, and it cemented her image among the South Korean audience as an iconic, unconditionally loving, and self-sacrificing mother. Which comes into play because our blues, that is called into question. That whole persona that she has built over the course of her career, playing amazing, strong mothers. She's been in only 5 movies, and one of them is Mother from 2009. This is a very famous Bong Joon-ho movie that Bong Joon-ho famously was like, I wouldn't have created, I went after her to play this character, and it took years for her to agree to do it, and I wouldn't have done it if she didn't play the title character. And she was the first, because of this movie, she was the first actress to be named Best Actress by the LA Film Critics Association. It was so impactful. I'd highly recommend watching it. Plus, Wonbin plays her son in the movie. She's been in 90 plus TV dramas. If you look online, I think Wikipedia has it all. Asian Wiki doesn't have it all. But she's been acting since the 60s. And some things that I know her from are Princess Hours is the number one thing that I know her from. She's the Queen Mother. That's 2006. I loved her in that. I thought she was so precious. And she's been in things like Dear My Friends from 2016. And then she was in The Light in Your Eyes in 2019 with Han Jimin, also in Our Blues. She won the grand prize, Taesang, for this role that she did in The Light in Your Eyes at the 55th Baeksang Awards. So she is really, really decorated, really well known. And I don't think international audiences necessarily get the big thing of putting her in this role opposite Lee Byung-hun.
Yeah, definitely not in this role. Definitely not Mom of the Year for this character that she's playing. But she's great in this. You know, like you feel for her. Yeah, she does a lot to you in this one.
She does a lot to you, exactly. Like she manhandles us.
She will make you feel. Yeah, she will make you feel something.
Yeah. So following her up, we got Shin Min-na. She plays Min So-na, a single parent with a child who came to Jeju and works with Lee Dong-seok. I don't think that's necessarily right. That's on like Wikipedia, but let's keep it vague. That's fine. Fine. She's been in 15 movies, including A Bittersweet Life from 2005. This is a reunion for her and Lee Byung-hun because Lee Byung-hun and her starred in A Bittersweet Life together.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So very famously. And then she's also been in 15 TV shows. Everyone knows her from Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha in 2021. That was a beloved pandemic show. She's in Chief of Staff, seasons 1 and 2, Tomorrow with You, Oh My Venus, Arang and the Magistrate, My Girlfriend is a Kumio, so on and so forth. But she's had a very long career. She's household name as well. And she famously has also dated Kim Woo-bin for I don't know how long. I really don't know how long they've been dating, but it's been a really long time.
A long time. Yeah.
Maybe close to a decade that they've been dating. So what do you guys feel about Jimin-na?
Have you guys seen Bittersweet Life? That was one of the first Lee Byung-hun movies I've ever seen.
No kidding.
At the time, I didn't know who she was. I knew who, I was just discovering him. But after I rewatched it and I was like, oh, that's Jimin. I never noticed it.
Huh. No, she's great. No, I think she's fantastic. She's great in this role too. We'll talk about it. But yeah, she stole this drama for me. Like she really carried this one for me.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
So we're gonna follow her with Lee Jung-un, who plays Jung Eun-hee, the owner of a fish store who has bubbly charm. I didn't write that part. So she's been in 34 movies, including her first movie role was in Mother, 2009, with the same Bong Joon-ho movie. She was Ah Jung's relative. I don't know, some bit part in there, I guess. And then she's been in The Wailing from 2016. She plays Tokhee's wife. Listen, The Wailing, I had to like sit down and like practice meditative breathing after that. Like that movie put me in a state. I don't know why I decided to watch horror movies at like midnight when I'm trying to fall asleep. I'm like, yeah, I can press play on like these really scary movies and think I'm going to sleep well tonight. And I don't know what possesses me to do this, but it's not just once or twice that I've done this. And this one, I think I did in December. I watched The Wailing and I was wrecked. I mean, crazy eyes were wrecked after that one. I watched. So then she's also been in Okja from 2017. Do you guys remember Okja?
Of course.
Another Bong Joon-ho, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's in Battleship Island from 2017, A Taxi Driver, and of course Parasite from 2019. They did her dirty with the peach fuzz in that movie. She's been she's been in 43 TV shows. I can't tell you what they all are. We'd be here all day. But some of them include Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bok-ju from 2016/2017 with Jong Nani from the Swag Crew. They are both in Our Blues. She was in Tomorrow with You alongside Shinmina, Fight for My Way, While You Were Sleeping, Mr. Sunshine alongside Lee Byung-eun. She's been in Familiar Wife, The Light in Your Eyes, both with Han Jimin and Kim Hye-ja. When the Camellia Blooms with Ko Do-shim. Like all these people have worked together or have like been in the same shows together. Juvenile Justice from 2022. She's been in Daily Dose of Sunshine, and most recently, Curtis, Miss Night and Day from this year, which I think is currently airing. Yeah. Yes. So she's had a very illustrious, long life as, people's mothers, people's aunts. And I think she's finally getting the roles that I would love to see her in, that I'm really satisfied seeing her in.
Yeah.
And I love her as an actress. I always perk up when I see her in a project.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got a toughness to her, but a warmth and silliness. Yeah, she's got a really wide range. She's fantastic in this one too.
Yes. So one person we wanted to shout out as well was Cha Sung-won, who plays Han-soo, and he's related to her story. He returns to the hometown early on in the show. He's like in the first 3 episodes, basically. And he masquerades as a perfect urban man, and he is Eunhee's first love. He's been in like 30 movies and 14 TV shows, including A Korean Odyssey. and The Greatest Love. I remember seeing him in The Greatest Love, and I was like, oh my God, it's that ridiculous guy from The Greatest Love when I saw him in Our Blues. He's quite famous in Korea. So how do you guys feel about this guy? Have you guys seen him in other things?
Oh yeah, he's really famous in Korea because he also is a model.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just clearly look at him, see how tall he is. Yeah. But some of my favorite movies recently have him. So Night in Paradise, he plays an amazing gangster in that.
Yeah.
A really fun action series called Dokjeon, also known as Believer. He was in the first and second of those. And then there was another movie recently called Sinkhole, where he plays a great character in that movie as well. So he's a bona fide movie star.
He's a movie star. Yeah. Yeah. So to follow him up, we got Kim Woo-bin. This was, he plays Park Jung-joon, a captain with a direct and warm nature. This is his comeback.
These descriptions.
I know these descriptions. His comeback show since he was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal cancer sometime in 2017, which was a bombshell back after Uncontrollably Fond in 2016 came out. Then it was revealed that he was had been diagnosed with cancer, and he was going to be taking a prolonged break from acting. So this is his comeback. He hadn't done anything since 2016. So this was a big deal for Kim Woo-bin to reappear and be healthy and look great. And everyone was happy to see him in a show with Jimin now, which is his longtime love. They were not playing
Real
lovers
love.
in Our Blues. And you might recognize him as well from The Heirs in 2013. We have an episode on The Heirs as well on the Daebak feed if you want to scroll back and listen to that. That was fun. He's been in Gentleman's Dignity, and most recently he was in Black Knight, a Netflix show from 2023. So Kim Woo-bin, I think everyone loves Kim Woo-bin, but he doesn't have a long resume like other actors and actresses that we've discussed so far, that we've covered so far. Yeah.
Shoulders for days, though. Like shoulders from it was coast to coast on this guy.
He's pretty tall looking and got a good smile on him. And yeah, people seem to really enjoy Kim Woo-bin. But
why not? Yeah,
why not? Sure. I think wait, is he the last one? I think he's the last.
I think we better.
I think
the audience out there is like, oh my gosh.
That we have agreed to discuss at length. Okay.
There are many, many more actors.
No, there's way more where that came from. Everybody is somebody.
Yeah, we'll mention them.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Our Blues when you first watched it? And if you rewatched it, how did you guys feel after the rewatch this time around?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jess, that this flew under the radar for me. I didn't pick it up as it aired. I picked it up maybe a year later. I think because Brandon recommended it to me. Brandon said that he really loved this one and I should check it out. And I was like, well, if Brandon says I should check it out, I should watch it. And so I started it. And yeah, I love this kind of drama. I love ensemble casts. I love intertwined stories. I think it maybe, like we just talked about the cast and there's a lot of stars in it, but the stars are solid and they're prolific, but they're not necessarily the kind of stars that you say, oh, I have to watch that drama because so-and-so is in it. Like, I don't think, for me at least, there's that person for me that makes me say, oh, I have to watch that drama because so-and-so is in it. But once you get started, it just sucks you in. The storytelling is fantastic. Yeah, so I didn't notice it right away, but yeah, I picked it up. It's kind of later after hearing other people talk about it. So it's kind of one of those dramas, I think.
And you liked it?
Absolutely, I liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to you more when we get to the ratings. I'll talk to you more when we get to the ratings.
Okay. So, Brandon, let me know. What'd you think of the show?
Yeah. So for Pocha Playlist, we actually picked this title up, so we watched it from the first day that it came out. And for me, Lee Byung-hun is one of the greatest actors, so there was no way that we weren't going to pick this up. I mean, this was his venture back into another K-drama, and the ensemble cast, as Curtis mentioned, really drew me in. I loved the format where it's set in Jeju-do, and you have different vignettes. Like every 2 episodes is set on a different relationship, and it's all intertwined. It's kind of like a anthology, and it all kind of ends perfectly, and it just tells this phenomenal story of all of these great characters played by wonderful actors and actresses. I mean, what's not to like for a drama like this? It made me laugh, it made Jenny cry. There's I don't want to misspeak, but I think this might be one of the dramas that Jenny and I go back to the most, and it's for specific scenes. Jenny and I will say, oh my god, remember that one scene from Our Blues? Oh, we have to go turn it on. And we'll just like fast forward to that one scene, and we're like, oh, this is this is a masterpiece. And we'll just cycle through that every once in a while.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up in 2022 when it aired, and it really had nothing to do with anything. Like, I was just watching other things and watching things for the podcast as well. So, and I have to say, slice of life is not my bag. It takes a lot for me to think, oh, I need to watch this slice of life show, and I need to watch it right now. Slice of life shows have a long shelf life. And so to me, there's never a sense of urgency to watch it. And for some reason, like, I just never gravitate towards slice of life shows. It takes something really special to drag me in and hold my attention. And for some, I really enjoy it, and for others, I don't. Like, and for famous ones too. What's a famous slice of life? Like the Reply series is a really famous slice of life set of trio of shows. And for those, I only like one of them. And the most famous one that everyone raves about, I don't really enjoy it that much. It was not an enjoyable experience to watch it. So if there was any hype around Our Blues, I didn't hear it. And if there was anybody speaking nice things about it, I was like, okay, another good show that I have to put on my extensive watch list of like hundreds of shows at this point. Like, it's take a number, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until this, late last year when I was putting together the lineup that I was like, you know what? I kind of do want to press play on Our Blues, because I took a closer look at the cast and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it. I was in the mood. I've said this before, I'm a mood watcher. And later on, after I had already put it on the docket for season 5 of Taebak, I saw a scene of Shinmina in the show. And I was like, oh my God, thank God I'm already planning on watching this show, because this scene is tremendous. And I won't say what it is. I'll say what it is in spoilers, but I was like taken aback by the incredible depth of the scene and the way it was acted, and the incredible cruelty from some of the other character that was playing the scene with her, and the subject matter of what her character was going through. And I was like, well, shit. If that's one character and there's a whole plethora of characters that the show is about, then absolutely, like, sign me up. Because I run the risk of getting bored when there's so many characters and it's an ensemble cast. I don't want to be in it for like 1 or 2 people, and then the rest I'm kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, that's a fine story. I felt like every story had merit, every story was important, every storyline was interesting. And even though some are more like have favorites, definitely, and maybe some made me cry and others didn't, but overall I felt like the stories and the show was super well done. I thought it was brilliant, and I had a wonderful time. I appreciated getting to know the characters. Like, I was at the end of the show, I was like, it was an honor to like watch this show and experience this little corner of Jeju, and be in their little slice of life, and I think that's the goal of slice of life. And maybe I'm like, I have too high of a standard for slice of life, where I like want to be so immersed and so honored and in love with every character. even if I don't like the character, I'm like, I'm happy to be here and watching your story. You know what I'm saying? That so many don't meet my standard and I just get bored or I check out at some point. And this one exceeded my expectations. So from everything, like from the way it was shot, it was stunning. The location, the vistas, everything about Jeju was so beautifully captured. The music was great. Even the stuff that wasn't OST, it was very ratatouille French music cooking playlist type music that was playing. And I was like, this is right up my frickin' alley. The way it was shot, again, like cool handheld shots. They were kind of taking some risks. Like there were shots of being in the passenger seat POV alongside characters. Someone opens a door and the camera follows them through the door. And stuff like that is really immersive and makes you feel like you're just a fly on the wall versus stuff that's a little more static or, you know, immovable, things that feel a little more staged. And this felt like you were in it, in the action with them and walking through the door with them, going into their house with them, getting in the car with them, and things like that really, you know, if you're not paying attention, you just feel the effects of it, but that is really difficult to do, right? Like technically difficult.
It's really hard
to do over and over again for 20 episodes over so many different stories. So really appreciated that attention to detail in the cinematography, and the acting was so top notch. You know, we have already gone through a handful of actors, but there's even more that we didn't go through their filmography and discuss them at length. But like honestly, it is a feat just to assemble this amount of talent.
Yeah, no weak links at all.
No weak links, and it's all good.
Everyone is solid. Yeah.
So everyone is solid. And they covered a lot of themes that K-dramas just don't tend to do. Themes about, you know, disability, themes about mental illness, mental health, fractured
Abuse,
relationships between elderly parents, you know, mother and son, and teen pregnancy, like you name it, it's in this show, and they handle it with care. So all that just to say it was a great experience, and they exceeded my expectations. It was really good. Really good. Held my attention.
Do you recommend this to everyone?
Yeah. I think I would. I mean, caveat, not if you're not a slice of life person, if you maybe don't like small town shows, if you've watched a few and you're like, I'm not a small town person, like Take Me Back to Seoul, maybe don't watch the show. Like, sorry to say, like this is not set in the big city. Let me see. If you're not a fan of anthologies and that sort of storytelling, perhaps this isn't the show for you. And especially this one's set up per episode. So each episode is focused on a different character and their journey, and it pushes their story forward a little more. Each episode you'll know who the story is about because it is named. This episode title is the characters' names. If that's not your bag, perhaps don't watch. So these are very specific like caveats. Don't watch if you don't like this sort of thing. But overall, I think that it's a lovely show. Really relaxing at a lot of points, and a really stressful in a lot of points. So something for everybody.
Not a light watch. Definitely one that you have to kind of be in the mood for and ready for. There's not that one romance. There's several love story arcs, but some of them are messy, and there's a lot of messiness, a lot of sadness in this.
There's a lot of the themes of loss, and you know, if you're a person that wants instant gratification in your K-dramas, this isn't the K-drama for you, because you're not going to get the perfect love story that's A to B to C. You're going to get A to C maybe to D.
to gamma.
You know what I'm saying? Like it like skips around. And that's how life is. Like you don't get easily digestible content in this.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
case, if you're looking for that and you want that in this seaside K-drama, then no, like that's not what this is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's intimidating too. Like if you look at 20 episodes, like I don't think if I saw it, I don't know if I would turn it on right away. Like, 20 episodes, that's a lot. But there are no wasted episodes.
How long did it take you guys to get through the 20 episodes? Was it easy to binge, or did you find yourself needing to just take some breaks and pauses because of how heavy some of the subject matter was?
Good question.
I think my wife and I did it in about 2 weeks, I think. So we didn't power through it. We moved pretty steadily, but, one a day, maybe 2 a day. I'm not going to do 6 in a row, something like that.
Yeah, I did the same thing. And that was mostly because I was working through holiday weekends, family visits, and I could do 2 to 3 a day. And then I would do no episodes for like 3 days. And then I would come in and do 1 episode and then 2 episodes and so on and so forth. So it was really herky-jerky, my watching. But theoretically, I could get through multiple episodes before I got really sleepy and then had to like actually go to sleep. But yeah, I think it was really easy for me to watch the episodes. I didn't feel like any of them were a chore at all. And even when I got through a few episodes that were about a favorite character, I really resonated with that storyline. And then the next episode is something new, a new storyline, and we're pushing something else forward. I was like, let's look at this. Let's see this new thing now. And I was very open to the other stories. And that's something that I think is a testament to the writing. It's a testament to the acting and the way that the ensemble cast has so much chemistry. And even if you're seeing this character's story, you've already seen that character like throughout the other episodes. And now you're focusing on like, what's their beef? What is their deal? Why are they mad? Why are they sad? Why are they whatever? Why are they the way they are? And it just goes to show that I think in my mind, you have to have good writing, then a good cast, and then everything flows from there.
Yeah, I agree.
This drama was nominated for 3 Paeksang Awards, Best Drama, Best Director, and Best Actor for Lee Byung-eun. I was taken aback that he didn't win, but
I know.
yeah, but it's okay. This OST, what did you guys think of this OST?
I mean, as a big BTS fan, I had to support Jimin, who has a great song on here. I feel bad. I always forget the other singer on that song because it's like a duet.
Oh yeah, it's
but I do know that Jimin is on there.
Ha Sung-woon is the other singer on the song, which is called With You.
Yep. And I think some of the aespa girls did a song on this as well. But overall, the soundtrack really fits this Jeju vibe. And it's out of some of the dramas that we've seen in the past, I listened to this OST maybe top 3, top 5 most listened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I forgot that Jimin was on the OST because I had in the back of my mind, I was like, there was an OST that Jimin was on and everyone was really excited about it. And then the first time I heard the actual song was in the context of the show and I'm watching it and I hear Jimin's voice and I'm like, holy shit, I think this is the show that he did the OST on. And it was like making connections, but it was like really delayed connections. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was a true BTS fan, I would know exactly like which show he was doing this for and what the song was. would have already heard the song in its entirety and all this stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed this OST as well. All the songs are really good. You have familiar like faces, so to speak, on the OST. You have like Davichi is on here, Taeyeon, Mellow Man, Stacy, Punch, Highs is on here. Some of the, if you look up these artists, you'll be like, oh my god, I love this OST from XYZ other show. So these are really comforting sort of artists that provided a wonderful soundtrack to our blues. And I kept thinking over and over, this is a really good OST. Like, I gotta add some of these songs. When I get done with this, I gotta circle back on this OST and add these songs to my playlist for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we get into the spoiler section? Because we're gonna give our scores and then spoiler section. But
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So before we get into the spoiler section, what would you give our blues out of 5 soju bottles? 5 being the best and 1 or 0 being like terrible.
Oof. I would give it like 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah. All right. Curtis.
All right. You know, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5.
Wow.
It's on my Mount Rushmore.
Wait.
It's
You
on my Mount
downplayed
Rushmore,
because I asked you earlier. You didn't say if you liked it, and then I asked you, did you like it? And you were like, yeah. And then you come in hot with the 5 out of 5 soju bottles. Like, you liked it like the
you gotta
most
add
out
some
of
drama. We need some tension. here. No, I would put it on my Mount Rushmore. I would say, top 4, top 5 drama for me. Like, I liked it. I liked everything about it. So I would put it up there, definitely. I've only watched it twice. I could watch it a few more times. There's so much going on. So I don't know. Like, it took me a while to recommend it to my wife, but we sat down and we started watching it, and she loved it as well. It's a slow burn, but it's such a good burn, so it's so like, heartwarming isn't the right. It just hits you, hits you in some good places. So I would give it a high rating.
I think my 0.5 deduction is just for some of the storylines that I didn't care that much for, but others I absolutely loved. And so I think that's why I gave it a 0.5 deduction. But Curtis, I'm happy that a rec that I gave you made it to your Mount Rushmore. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, this is
cool.
full circle because Brandon recommended our blues to you, Curtis. And then I think at some point you recommended it to me, and then it was floating in the ether. And then I'm sure that played into my decision to be finally like, hey, I need to watch our blues. So, wow. We're just influencing each other is what I'm saying.
Well, where do you put it? You haven't given us your number yet.
I think my number is 4.5, maybe 5 out of 5, because I loved it. It was really a solid show. I had almost nothing. I can't think of anything bad to say about it. It's not worth like deducting anything. Like, I don't know. There are some storylines that after seeing the whole body of work, I'm like, okay, that wasn't my favorite, but still in the moment I was like, oh, this is really hitting me. Like, I don't know. I was still like, it's deep and it's real when I was in it. And now after seeing it, I was like, all right, that's still good. It's not worth deducting anything. I don't know. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
We'll just give it 5 out of 5. 4.5, 5 out of 5, and a 5 out of 5 soju bottles. We are going to get into spoilers right after this.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
괜찮아.
Yeah, no, I have no tingle. Oh, sorry.
Swear, disgusting shit.
What?
With Plan B emergency contraception, we're in control of our future. It's backup birth control you take after unprotected sex that helps prevent pregnancy before it starts. It works by temporarily delaying ovulation, and it won't impact your future fertility. Plan B is available in all 50 U.S. states at all major retailers near you with no ID, prescription, or age requirement needed. Together, we've got this. Follow Plan B on Insta at Plan B One Step to learn more. Use as directed.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's OmniShade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.
All right, we're on the other side of spoilers, so anything goes. We are going to spoil the storylines in Our Blues. If you want to preserve your first watch of Our Blues, then stop listening, watch Our Blues, and come back. But if you don't care, then keep listening. I think the storyline that nobody particularly likes, for lack of a better word, is the first one, the first 3 episodes. Am I correct in thinking that? That's Eunhee and Hansu's story. Is that right?
I mean, you need it there to set up the relationships between the other townsfolk. But don't love the actual story.
You need all the periphery things and how she interacts with everybody and how she's sort of like the backbone of the town. Financially, because she owns this very successful business. She owns buildings, and she's a very wealthy woman who is still on that grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it also sets up her character, her persona. But it is a reunion of first loves, and you get Hansu, who's back in the mix. And I for sure thought he was going to be a bigger part of the show. Like, he was going to continue living in Jeju. Didn't happen.
Nope.
No.
He makes one 5-minute appearance at the end.
Yeah. They like brought him back for the final lap. And I was like, ooh, just leave him where he was. Like, he didn't even need to be back here in the episode 20.
We didn't need that,
But I did like the old, like, he's an old banker, burned out, exhausted with life. And they had the scene on the beach where he's reminiscing on their golden youth. And he's overwhelmed with nostalgia. And he runs into the water and floats next to his teenage self, who is so young and carefree. And that visual and the juxtaposition of his younger self to his current self was something. Like, I was like, there's something in that. And I really felt that, where maybe people can relate to that, where you feel like life has just beat you down. And if you look back on your life and you look back on your youth, you miss who you used to be. That naive person who wasn't concerned with working, wasn't concerned with responsibilities, wasn't exhausted all the time, wasn't in debt, so on and so forth. The list goes on. So that part of their story resonated with me. And of course, like, the way that it plays out was really heartbreaking. Did you guys like feel any type of way about it, or was it just me that I was like kind of in my feels the first 3 episodes?
I thought it was an important story to set the stage for the village and all the characters. I was just bummed because I really like that actor, and I thought it would be interesting if he was a recurring member across the other episodes. We really don't see him after episode 3 until the last episode, I think, when they're playing the big friendly soccer game. I think it was a soccer game.
It was like a field day that they had. I don't even know who they were playing against, like other village people that weren't in the ensemble cast. Yeah.
But I grew to love Eunhee's character across the episodes, and I really wanted her to have some type of love line later on, and I was shocked that they didn't give her one. So then I think back and I'm like, oh, it would have been great if she could kind of have some relationship with her first love, but obviously it doesn't work out like that. But I was kind of bummed for Eunhee as well.
Yeah, I was so bummed for her. Especially when she's talking to him, like her first love, Hansu, about how she's really hesitant to go on first dates and stuff like that. She says, I think I'm turning into an awful person. I measure the pros and cons even when it comes to love. I'm a horrible person who only cares about my interests. I think I'll die alone. Like, she's so hurt by the fact that she might die alone because she has all of these conditions, right? Like, for falling in love, that she says to him. She rejects people because maybe the guy is sick or he's taking care of someone who's sick. And that means that he wants a caregiver wife, or he's just interested in me because I'm rich. He's after my wealth. Or he's the eldest son who has to care for his aging parents. She'll definitely reject him because that responsibility and burden, as she sees it, would likely fall on her and put a strain on her and their brand new marriage. So all of these things, the responsibility and exhaustion of life and the all of these societal expectations of women, especially, she's like, I don't want to fucking deal with that. Like, I'm an independent lady. I have my own income. I'm wealthy. I don't need a man. And like, how's he going to make my life better, basically? I don't want him to make my life worse. It's like I'm like, this is serious. Like, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I was like, she's preaching something good right now. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It was a very real lament, I think, for her, because she was feeling like she was too picky. But I'm like, you can afford to be picky. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it was heartbreaking to see that little story play out. But then we get to, I think we don't get to Shinmina yet. It's Younguk and Jonghoon story. What did you guys think of this story?
Wait, refresh my memory on this.
So Younguk is Han Jimin. She is the younger Haenyo. Yeah, let's give her a nickname. So, like, she has the sister with Down syndrome.
I don't know a nickname. Brandon, you got a nickname? But
just call her Hanyo.
Hanyo.
Hanyo? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
The young Hanyo.
So it's her and Chongjun, Kim Woo-bin's character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a cute love story. I mean, it's what I love about this drama is that none of this is super clean. Everyone's got some stuff. You know, everyone's got some history, some baggage, secrets, and yet there's a love story brewing throughout the whole drama between these two. And, you know, he comes through and he's as solid as you can be, you know, basically loving her even through her warts and her flaws. And she's a great character, you know, like I think she shows some depth in her acting ability as well as the way they wrote her. Like, she's got some real depth to her. And this is my second favorite love story in this drama.
Second favorite. Okay. So I'm sure we'll get to your first favorite at some point.
We'll tease that.
So this story was difficult for me, I think, because I wanted them to get together. Obviously, I really loved their romance, especially there was such an effortlessness when they showed them together, like, especially after like they got together and started their relationship. Their little vignettes and montages of them spending time together and watching TV and, you know, laughing together and things like that. I was like, that's a real relationship. Like, where is Shimina? Because that looks real. I was convinced. Acting is incredible in this. So I was like taken aback completely because they sold me on this relationship and their love, right? That she's catching feelings and he had already caught feelings like a long time ago. But he, like, initially, this was funny to me. Initially, he's concerned about her body count. And he writes down in his bus, "Can I date a woman who's already been in so many relationships?" And all she had shared with him was that she had 2 past relationships. At this point, she just says that there's she has 2 exes. That he's as tall as one of her exes, and then there's another ex in the mix. 2 guys. And I go, my guy, it's 2 exes. What are you talking? So many. Like, he has made this story up in his mind that she's got like all of these guys.
They kind of made her out.
Right. They
kind of made her out to be a tease, though. You know, like she was teasing with that other captain, and
I wanted to get your perspective.
It made him wonder.
Right. I wanted to get your perspective on this because the other captain, who was problematic, by the way, she goes out with him she goes dancing or something with him, and that escalates because that guy thinks he has some sort of claim like to her because she went out with him. They have a drunk night out. I have in my notes as the ugly captain. That's my nickname for that guy. The ugly captain. And he's drunk and he starts demanding they go to a motel. And he won't take no for an answer. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Because she's like deflecting the whole time and trying to diffuse the situation versus outright telling him, no, we're never gonna go out. And I think she reads that drunk captain way better than anybody else in the town does. And she's like, he's good for a good time, but not for anything else. And I want to do what I want to do. And, that's that. I have a hiccup here with like calling her a tease necessarily, because the show wants us to think she's a tease. You know what I'm saying? But like all she did was go dancing with him. Maybe it's my Western lens.
I think it's a bit of the Western lens as well, but Korea is obviously more conservative. But when I was watching the show, in my head, I was thinking Jungkook could have been a little bit more clear and a little bit more transparent on certain things. Obviously, she doesn't have to reveal anything she doesn't want to reveal, especially about her younger sister. But I just felt like she could have always kind of put some of the rumors down easily if she chose to, but she would always stay quiet. She would always act alone. I think if I'm remembering correctly, she acts alone in one scene, which then puts some of the other Hanyas in jeopardy. I think if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she starts harvesting. What is it? They're supposed to resurface every time they get something. They harvest something. They get one thing and they're supposed to come up for air. And the thing is, they're not diving like 10 feet. They're diving 60 plus feet in the water. That's 6 stories down. So when they're telling her, hey, you need to do this, this is our procedure, this is our workflow, so to speak, and you're staying down longer just to grab more mollusks and sea creatures down there. You're harvesting more than one thing at a time. It's putting you at risk because we're supposed to do this together. We're in it all together. And your partner and you are supposed to keep an eye on each other. And if one person is 60 something plus feet above you, catching a breath, she can't save you if anything goes wrong on the bottom of the ocean floor, is what they're saying. And so they kept saying she was greedy.
Right. So I think some of her actions definitely made her image in the village kind of worse than it really needed to be. I also don't mind her relationship with the ugly captain, as you call him, because the scenes with Kim Woo-bin's character, Park Jung-jun, and the ugly captain were some comedic gold scenes, so I didn't mind it.
Yeah, like you kind of want them to butt heads, if only to see Kim Woo-bin like stand tall next to this dude who thinks he's hot shit. And it's funny, like, anyway. And then he like busts him for drunk driving. Like, he's a mess. That guy is a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, but the tease thing, I had a real hiccup with that. It was everything else about her that she was really mysterious and kept up that mystery and didn't set any records straight. Was content to like not clear any air when people were bad-mouthing her and spreading rumors about her. And even though she was telling the truth about her parents, yes, they were artists, yes, they lived here, yes, they did this, as they owned some sort of thing, all of these individual things were true at one point in her life, everyone took it to mean she's telling 3 separate stories. She's lying to all of us because all of these 3 things can be true. And I also thought the villagers were just so, I guess this goes into like the village as a whole was so simple-minded.
Yeah.
Right? Like they can't think to themselves, hey, she just wants her privacy. Like she's entitled to like, she doesn't have to share who her parents are, what her parents do, who keeps calling her all the time while she's out at sea harvesting. Like, it's not your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, well, they set her up. They, like you said, they wrote her a certain way. Because there's that
Yeah.
one scene. I think the first time we see her, they're heading out to sea on Woo-bin's boat.
Yeah.
You know, and she's waving to Ugly Captain and like, I love you. You know, like she's yelling to his boat and waving to him.
Yeah, she's just waving and
then
super
they meet up in
enthusiastic
the-
to see him, and everyone's like
Yeah.
looking back and forth, like,
So
what is she doing?
What is she doing? And then at the bar, I mean, at the little restaurant that she helps out at too, you know, he comes in there and she's a little friendly, you know, nothing scandalous or anything.
It's nothing
that's
scandalous.
What I mean.
I know.
But you know, in a small town where everyone's in everyone's business, they're kind of setting this up. You know, this is her role in the town.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we get this girl, and I think I was on her side, even though like she has a very, and I have to preface this by saying this actress, I like her, but I don't like her, if that makes any sense. Like Han Jimin, ever since One Spring Night, I'm kind of like about her because she was mean to a single dad who's a very precious, like kind, soft-hearted person, and she's being really wishy-washy with that character. And I was like, why is she giving this guy the runaround? And so I dropped that show because of her, the way she played that character in particular was so grinding. And I've never recovered from that character.
Yeah.
And this character that she plays in Our Blues is more of that side of Han Jimin, right? Where she is a slippery character, right? You kind of can't get a read on her sometimes. And that aspect of her, it kind of spirals into this relationship this really fraught relationship that she has with her twin sister, the sister with Down syndrome. And it was at this point that I thought this story got way more complex in a way that no other K-drama I've seen has done. Yeah. Where you have, first of all, an actress with Downs. Yeah. And even the younger version, they had some flashbacks and stuff, and even the younger version of that sister was another actress, a younger actress with Downs. And I was like, this is amazing. This is so great. Very unique and, groundbreaking to me. Mm-hmm. And this relationship is so complicated. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever done any caregiving for someone who's sickly or mentally incapacitated in any way, but I have. And so this relationship, it was like two halves of me pulling at each other like taffy. Mm-hmm. Did you guys feel this way at all with this relationship?
Yeah, I've done a little caregiving, and it's tough. It takes a toll on you in so many ways, financially, physically, especially emotionally. And, the idea of her being out of town, while her sister is on the mainland is complicated, right? Like, she needs her space. She needs to live her life, but there's this constant drain on her coming from the mainland. And yeah, it's tough. It was rough. It's so well done. Like, I didn't think I would like it. When they first revealed it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to go over well, because you have a real person who's not acting necessarily in some of the things that she was going through, and she was great, and the way they handled it was beautiful and heartbreaking but endearing at the same time. So yeah, it got super complicated. And you really felt for her at that point, and it was really good.
Yeah. How did you feel about it, Brandon?
I thought it was. I think you mentioned it in the beginning. This story was delicately told, and I can't say that I have experience being a caregiver, but I just can only imagine the amount of stress that it must weigh on you, and it kind of goes to show why Young-ok was so focused on trying to I don't know, make as much money as she could, even though that meant she wouldn't get along with the other Hanyas. It's because she has to care for her younger sister. And I thought that it was a great love story between Young-ok and Chung-jun. And one thing that I can't get out of my head was this innocent scene. I think when Chung-jun first meets her sister, I don't even think he realizes what Down syndrome even is, and so it was like a learning experience for him in a very innocent way. I thought that was great. So it was very educational as well. So overall, I thought it was a great segment.
Yeah, I thought they really went there. It was really hard to watch in a lot of places, especially when she is being super harsh to her sister. And you can tell that she just doesn't want to be around her. She wants almost nothing to do with her. And there is this resentment, this deep resentment there. And there's also this deep love there. And these things, this duality that's within this character was really addicting to see them unpack. She says in this, I think, voiceover, she says, Young-hui is special. She's especially weird. She's especially ugly. And she especially makes my life miserable. And I was like, we can stop right now. Like, it is really cruel, I think. The storyline plays out really in terms of cruelty, and do you understand the cruelty? Like, can you understand where she's coming from?
Yeah.
And
yeah, there's no winners in this.
There's no, it's like a zero-sum game. This storyline especially.
Yeah.
Well, all of them, like truly. She tries to break up with Kim Woo-bin. He won't have it. He's taken aback by the twin with Downs. He says yes, no hesitation when she reveals that they're orphans. They lost their parents when they were 12 years old. That's a strike against them in Korean society. There's a stigma around orphans. And then she throws it in his face. She'll have to care for her sister for the rest of her life. And that is a really sad, brutal reality. That she has this person that she has to care for them. Their family, they're all they have. And it's super sweet of him, but I understand where she's coming from when she tries to break up with him. When she's like, why don't you just save yourself? Like, you don't understand what the gravity of it is. This is a lifelong commitment. You're not just committing to me. You're committing to the both of us. Like, we are a package deal. And I think the show really gets across the burden of being a caregiver, the sacrifice of giving up your life, the expense of living for someone else that is not just monetary. It's time, it's energy, it's mental load, and in this case, the threat of becoming a social pariah, because they start going in public, the three of them, and it is a shit show. They get stares, there's rudeness, people are inconsiderate, and society at large is cruel. You have a child that's like actively making fun of the sister in public, and the parents are unconcerned about correcting that behavior and apologizing on behalf of their child. And that is really jarring to see in the show, and I don't think that it's necessarily far off the mark. You know what I'm saying? For
it's realistic,
Korean society. So that was really tough. It's a tough mirror. They're holding up a big mirror to Korean society, and they're saying, "Look at what this is," and it's provocative. Later on, I think the sister, the Haenyo, has like a little hissy fit at the house later. When the sister is outside drawing in the cold. It's freezing outside and she's drawing outside. No one knows how to act around people with disabilities, how to treat them with dignity, because they are so removed from society. And she says this, they're sent to care facilities instead of being cared for at home. And if they're with family, they're clearly a burden. And any public outbursts are a shameful embarrassment that draws the attention of a society that has no compassion. There is no ADA compliance in Korea. There is, no laws prohibiting discrimination of people with disabilities in Korea. This is a serious thing you know what I'm saying? Almost feeling like it's sanctioned.
Yeah.
And she is devastated and at the same time really angry at the whole situation. And despite people with Downs having developmental delays and intellectual disability, they have high emotional intelligence. And so the sister is outside and she understands everything. She is crying because she knows what the sister is saying. She hears her and she completely understands that her sister borderline hates her. And this whole thing, I mean,
it's super rough.
it's rough, man. It's so rough. That whole thing, unbelievable. The end of that storyline when she sees all of the hand-drawn portraits, the whole thing of the sister saying, like, you can't draw, you're not an artist, I don't know why you're doing this. And then she sees the obscene amount of art that she has created while she was in Jeju for that week.
Yeah.
And she
And
breaks
they did
down
it really
crying.
well. You know, like she doesn't come across as like, you know, an amazing artist, but the drawings she did are so endearing, and you know, they're beautiful, and they capture more than just the accuracy of what these people look like. She captures the heart, and I thought they did that really good. Like, whoever was the actual artist who did all these, like, they did a really good job.
I can tell you who the
on
actual
how it
artist
came
was.
out.
It was the actress Jung Eun-hye, who plays the sister with Downs, Young-hui.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
She drew
all
this
hand-drawn
herself?
portraits that were displayed in episode 15 were sketched by Jung
Oh,
Eun-hye.
wow.
Her.
Wow.
Yeah, the actual
great.
artist. The actual actress, I should say.
Yeah. No, I mean, because it came out across as really good, you know, because I was wondering, was she going to be super amazing, you know, like really
Right.
detailed, but the way they did it, they were simple, but yes, that's perfect. That's perfect.
So that was another storyline. What were other storylines that you guys wanted to bring up? I think we maybe want to leave the Lee Byung-hun one for the one with him and his mom, I guess, for last, maybe. But
Yeah.
what
I
were
think
the
so.
other ones that you guys want to bring up?
Some that I really appreciated. So, the little girl, and I'm blanking on her name. Maybe I can find it. Oh, Eungi. Her father is a childhood friend to the village, and he is getting surgery, and so they all climb to the top of the
Yes.
mountain, the 1,000 moons, and they get all the sailors. I thought that was one of the most
Oh my God.
heartwarming scenes ever. It made Jenny cry so much.
Yeah.
And then my personal favorite storyline for this show is the not just the teen pregnancy, but then also their father's relationship. So them four. That was my favorite storyline of the show.
What made it your favorite?
Well, it's definitely a topic that we casually don't see, teen pregnancy in K-dramas, and I just thought they truly captured how realistic and how accurate they depicted how people would make decisions in that situation. So,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
do we try to get the abortion, or I can, or hey, we can do it, we can raise the kid, or can we not? Them telling their parents, I thought those
Oh,
two scenes
yeah.
in that night, it was amazing. Amazing in the sense that is exactly how most Korean parents would react. If I told my father, I'm sure it would have been the exact same situation as that young kid. Same for the daughter. And so I just felt like this was the realest depiction for such a harsh topic, and they did it on a K-drama. They weren't afraid to really go there, and I appreciated that. And not to like generalize, but I remember like me, my mom, all my friends who are Korean were watching this show. When we got to this segment of episodes, everyone was like, oh my god, these episodes were amazing. Like, everyone has to go watch Our Blues. Like, the storyline before, and we already mentioned like the first 3 episodes, and then kind of the love line was building. So up until that point, it was a decent show. We weren't sure how crazy it was going to go,
Right.
but when it got to
then
this
you hit
section,
like episode 5, and
Right.
that's when you
Yeah.
hit the teen pregnancy, and you're like,
yeah.
you don't know where to look. You're just like, oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, Curtis, you mentioned I think you mentioned that Kim Woo-bin's love line was your second favorite. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite love line was the two kids.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, yeah. I love them.
The dads are amazing. The dads, the characterizations of the dads, they just went with it. They're so committed to who they are playing, the actors. And when the kids are like, well, if I tell my dad, he's going to cry for days. And if I tell my dad, he's going to break a lot of things, and then it exactly plays out exactly that way they thought it would, because they knew their dads so well, and their dads are well known in the community for being those things too. And it's just the whole town was feeling what they were feeling, and then just their beef that goes back 20 years. It was so well done. Yeah.
The beef.
Yeah.
The beef killed me. So I agree completely that the teen pregnancy was surprising and well done, and again, another taboo subject, right? It was very emotional. I was cut up from the very first, like, she goes to an OBGYN who was awful and condescending to her. He tells her it's your fault for not using contraception, and like the condom failed or something like that. And so they did use contraception. It was like she was gagged like by this doctor, and it's super frustrating to see her in that environment. I don't know if you've ever had someone in your life tell you horror stories about an OBGYN and they're like, I don't never want to see that person again. But like, honestly, I've experienced something similar to this, not with a pregnancy, thank God, but like with, just a regular visit where I'm like, I hate that doctor. I need to report that doctor to the board. And this was tough to watch, especially because it's a teenager. They're helpless. She's helpless, right? Like, she doesn't have a guardian with her. She doesn't have any person to advocate for her. She's never gone to an OBGYN before. And he's out here telling her things like, all you teenagers are the same. When she suspects she tells the doctor, I think I'm 3 months pregnant. And she's actually 22 weeks pregnant, which is 6 months. So she's been pregnant for 6 months, twice the amount of time she thought she was. He demands that she get parental consent, and I think I misread the subtitles, but I think she said earlier that it's not needed by law anymore, but the doctor was being a dick basically and saying like, you need parental consent or whatever. It was like this whole like shit show. So ever since that doctor's visit, I was like, this is going downhill fast. You know what I'm saying? And then we get the beef between the dads, and I mean, it was bad. Like, it culminates in this jail cell. To me, it culminates when they get arrested together.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases. Unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online. And a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business. You'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
For fighting each other.
For fighting, yeah. And he said, her dad tells his dad, how did it feel to get beaten by your son? He says that's how he felt the night that he went to him in desperate need.
Yeah.
And said, I need money. Like, my child is hungry. My wife has left me. And he called him a dirt poor loser.
Yeah. And he said that's fine. He goes, yeah, I know I was, but you just don't do that in front of my daughter.
You don't do that in front of my daughter. And he called him a dirt poor loser and made his daughter beg for money.
Yeah.
And it was cruel and degrading when he was most vulnerable. And he went to him because he was the only friend he could rely on. He was all he had. And that is to go to someone with all of your heart and for them to like humiliate you. That is what stuck. That is the beef that stuck.
Yeah.
And so to see that play out and to see how the kids were just pummeled by the two dads in various ways, emotionally and physically. I mean, it was bad, but then the reconciliation was like sad and beautiful.
Yeah. And realistic to a point, where it didn't happen over one episode. It took some time, and yeah, there needed to be a lot of steps in between. But the arc was great. Yeah, I thought the arc was really great.
Demanding apologies for things like he said shit about his daughter, that she was sleeping around, and he was like he dragged her out of the motel room at one point, and.
Yeah, that's not cool either.
To literally take her to the hospital to get an abortion. It was like wildness.
Yeah.
So that whole thing was great. I had this moment ingrained into my brain was episode 6 when the two kids decide to keep the baby, and they said she said promise me you won't change, and it starts raining on them. She covers her tummy, like it starts to rain, and she's like this, covering her forehead, and then she changes and covers her little tummy, and then he comes over and like covers her, and oh my god, it was so adorable. Do you remember this moment?
Yeah.
No? Oh god.
I don't actually.
No? Then they start kissing in the street, and that's when Uni drives by in her truck and she sees them, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? Like she's like didn't know they were dating. Anyway, all this stuff, these set of episodes were really, again, super powerful. Curtis, what was your number one then? What was your number one?
Okay, so my
romance?
number one was the Shimina. I thought, the Dongseok and Sona, that one, it spans, at least 15, 20 years. Goes back to when they were kids and they had nothing but each other, and they were just drowning in misery, but they had each other for a week or two. It wasn't even that long of a time, but it just it started there where they loved each other, but they kind of got separated and didn't see each other for 15 years or something like that. And they met randomly at Seoul or in Seoul.
Yeah.
And then that lasted a month or so, and they were just hanging out and having fun. But then she dumps him on the beach when he tries to kiss. He's the worst, right? He has the worst timing ever of when to kiss someone. But he tries to kiss her on the beach, and she's like, okay, take me home. I'm done. And he's like, well, what'd I do? And then they meet up later in life, and he's super mad about everything, but mad about her too. And then they slowly, and then so in your notes you have, what's your favorite scene? The way they portrayed her depression, of just symbolically everything gets dark for her, and she's drowning, in those moments, just covered in water and emotionally drowning, maybe even physically drowning, and dying. She's literally dying, or figuratively dying. And he gives her a little light, like that stupid little soundtrack he does on the island. That was my favorite scene, where he said, here's something to make you laugh. And he sends it to her, and it's not like fairy tale where it's like, oh, everything's cured. He sent me this crazy little tape, and now I'm cured from depression. But it wasn't like that. It's a slow burn where she's coming out of it, and it's just and it didn't even end where it was, wedding bells or anything necessarily. Like, she's still digging herself out of her hole, right? And he's got some issues too. He got a ton of issues too to dig out from. But they've had each other for a couple decades, and then they kind of meet up again when they need each other most, and it kind of works for me. I really like that. I picked that as my number one romance. When we did our Valentine's show, Jess, where you submitted your answer to, that was mine. I picked this romance as the, Brandon, you were on that episode too. But this was the one I picked for my, it's a really ugly, messy relationship, but I really like the way they did it.
Yeah, this relationship is pretty different than a standard romance, right? Where you have a lot of time in between when they were kids and they were each other's first loves, and she has a really bad home life. He has a horrible home life as well. And they kind of find each other in the madness. And they are each other's safe haven. And then she leaves. Like she's the one that got away. You know what I'm saying? And the moment that I remember seeing on TikTok after I had already decided to watch Our Blues was in episode 4. The episode starts. The episode is not about Dong-seok or Shin-mina's character, but it starts with Shin-mina. And I was like, whoa, this scene of her and introing her depression and her husband being completely over it, exasperated with her. He screams at her to go to the hospital to get treatment. And they say depression can be cured. He complains about the laundry and the cleaning, the state of the house. She counters, why doesn't he do it himself? Why does she have to do all the household chores? He fires back, she wants him to work and do all the housework. My blood was boiling. Like, this scene, and then particularly the part where he says she reeks, that she stinks. And the passage of time thing, where just time is this amorphous thing to her. She's unreachable, and she thinks that it's still the morning, and it's actually the evening, and she didn't pick up her kid from preschool. It's the middle of the night. It is a sucker punch, this introduction to Shin-mina, and then poof, we don't see her or hear from her for several episodes as we go into other storylines and the pregnancy, the teen pregnancy, and things like that crop up. Shin-mina did an incredible job, I thought, playing this character.
So good. Yeah.
And playing a character who loves her son, right? Like, the depression doesn't take away the fact that she loves her son and wants to provide for her son and be there. It is impeding her ability to do that. And her husband is like the worst. The worst. I couldn't get over the fact that he was so cold toward her. And almost like wouldn't pick up the slack. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's struggling and she's at 10%, okay, you got to do 90. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all there is to it.
Yeah. But, it's pretty realistic, though.
She's
honestly.
at 20, you got to do 80. Sorry, that's how life works. So he just was not willing to, I don't know. How did you?
If I was to play devil's advocate, because Jenny and I talked about this a lot, and we have some experience with depression and anxiety disorder. One thing that the show doesn't clarify for us is how long she has been in that state of depression. And so I try to be sympathetic to the husband's character if this had happened, initially, and he just wasn't willing to pitch in. Totally understand he's being unhelpful, but they're obviously parents to this young child, and what happens when it goes 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and he does make the comment, like, can you at least go get treatment? So it seems like she wasn't taking the necessary steps to get better, at least that's how I took it. And so I kind of understood his frustrations. If you're not going to pick up, if you told me you're going to pick up the kid and you didn't, like, now you're putting our son in danger. And I'm obviously happy that she goes on her mental health journey and she goes to the countryside and finds her shine, her light, as you mentioned, Curtis, in Lee Byung-hun. But, she also had to have been a parent to her son, and I think the dad was thinking for the son's safety first. So I wanted to just give him a little bit of slack when I watched the show.
And I think there were two things that didn't let me take my foot off his neck. So the one thing was he knew sorry, maybe there's a better way to say that, but one thing was he knew about her depression from the jump. Before he even married her, when they were dating, he knew about her depression.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know if that played into their breakup initially, because when she met Lee Byung-hun's character however many years ago and they went joyriding, they were on the outs. They had broken up. So who knows? They don't say like why they broke up. But to me, that says, okay, I'm signing up. You know, for better, for worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a promise. And he knew. It's not like this cropped up later and he's got to, adjust. And second of all, I think what played into her losing custody was the accident, the car accident that happened. And he blamed her for that accident.
Right.
When I watch it back, I don't think she was at fault at all. Like, she got cut off and ran into the car. And I was like, how is that her fault that she got cut off in traffic? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, where's the fault that she was like, how is this playing into like she was depressed and like ran into a car? That didn't scream she needs to lose custody, because she picked up the kid. She was being responsible. The kid was strapped into the seat. If there were other circumstances, like it was a different kind of accident and she was at fault, or the kid wasn't in a seatbelt or something like that, like that would have signaled to me, yeah, the kid is unsafe with her. But for all intents and purposes, this was a pretty bad traffic accident that she was not at fault for. And then he takes it upon himself to initiate this really ugly custody battle.
Jess, did you rewatch the episodes recently? Because I didn't, so your memory might be better than mine on the show.
So I just watched them.
Wasn't there a scene where they ask the son like his opinion on the mom and the dad, and I forget the answers he gives, and I forget what he says about the mom. Do you remember?
So he says, he calls his dad, oh, my dad's like a friend. He calls him friend. And then they ask him his opinion on the mom, and he says, oh, mom is sick. So he just thinks that she is sick. Not that she is, mom, she's great, whatever. Some other verbiage that would have passed in the courts for her to get custody. Just him knowing that she was struggling was, I guess, a strike against her. So, and what was terrible, again, was during that custody battle, the husband was bringing up, it was like a mini microcosm of Marriage Story. Have you seen that movie? Marriage Story, with that ugly custody battle between Scarlett Johansson and no.
I haven't seen it, but I know the story. Yeah,
there's the other one too, Kramer versus Kramer. Yeah, so good.
Right, the original. Yeah.
So it's the same thing basically, where it all comes out, but it's not the whole truth. So the husband is saying, "Oh, she didn't pick up the kid. She didn't do this. She didn't do that." And she's like, "Okay, I didn't pick up the kid on one day, but I pick him up 364 other days out of the year. Like, I'm doing well all the other times, and I didn't play with him maybe 3 or 4 times out of the month, but I play with him all the other days, like, out of the month," and so on and so forth. Like, all of these strikes against her are like a small percentage of the time that she is full-time caregiving for her son, that she is out of commission or unable to care for him. So it was enough.
Well, honestly though, I think the courts probably made the right call in this case. Like, just purely speaking, safety of the child, I think they probably made the right choice. Even though we like Shima, we know she's going through a lot. We like her, we like her character. There's obviously some room for compassion, but the bottom line is, like, which parent would he be more safe with? And it isn't about emotion. At that point, the court has to make a decision on the welfare of the child physically, just keep the kid alive. And so they probably made the right choice, though we could all see that in the long run, who's going to love him more? We know the mom would, but
I also thought it was funny that they were asking the dad, like, okay, who's going to do this? Who's going to caregive while you're at work? And he's like, oh, my parents are. And she's like, okay, so you're not going to caregive for him. your elderly parents are going to be raising him while you're working. And who's going to pick him up from school and all this stuff. And it was never him. It was always his parents.
No, but in Korean culture, that's very
normal.
That's the standard almost. Like my generation of kids, like I have a lot of friends who are closer to their grandparents than their parents, just because that was all families live together and the parents help out. So I didn't think that was that weird. That's pretty common in Korea.
And Shimina had no one, she has no parents.
Let me clarify. I'm not saying it's weird because I got picked up every day after school with my grandparents. What I'm saying is, if it's between aging grandparents or his mother, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were asking questions.
But she's gonna have to work full time though.
Pointed questions about like who is going to raise him, who is going to be caregiving, and it was not him.
Yeah.
So it was hard.
But they asked her too, and she didn't have anyone.
She was like, I was going to do this.
Have to work
I'm going to work
full-time,
part-time so
else.
that I can do this and pick him up and all this stuff. So it was she was going to be single mom in it.
Tough.
Anyway, long story short, this storyline was harsh. And then you add in the love story that she like doesn't love him, Lee Byung-hun's character, at first. But she grows to love him and need him. So I really like that. And her meeting his mom at the end, I was like, I was like in tears.
It's written so well. Like it just, at that moment, he has to make up with his mom just in time, just within a day, right? To make it work.
What I liked about their relationship, and especially when Dong-seok is there for when she loses custody, right? Which is devastating for any parent, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She sobs uncontrollably for hours. She won't eat or drink, and he gets fed up. Like, he tells her she should do her best to gird up, prepare herself for the appeal, and not wallow in self-pity. And she's devastated at this horrible thought that her son might hate her and probably doesn't want to be around her, etc. And she basically says that she just can't help it. It's how she is. And instead of criticizing her like her husband did, just leave her be. Leave her to her own devices and how she processes things. He ends up asking her questions about her depression. What does it feel like? And he starts consoling her. When did it start? And she says it started when her dad committed suicide by driving himself into the ocean. Like wildness, more wildness. For these backstories, it's trauma upon trauma. You could say it's generational trauma. And the next morning, he ponders more about his own circumstances and his own relationship with his mom, meaning he's wondering if his mother struggled with depression. He wonders if she ever loved him because she neglected him. And just as he told Shinmina's character to just call up her son and ask him how he feels about her, Shinmina tells him he should ask his mom outright. Instead of avoiding the problem and burying your worries by ignoring the person, scared of what they'll say, he should talk to her. And she says she went through a whole crisis of hating her father, wondering why he never said, that he was having a hard time, wondering if he loved her at all. And she concluded that he did love her, but life is just terrible and it beat him down. And then she felt guilty for seeing him rage against life, being a violent alcoholic, and never asking him what was wrong. Why was he so mad or sad? And she tells him to talk to his mom or risk living in regret, that you could have done more, said more, probed more. So that circles back. That's like an earlier episode. Then we hit episodes like 18, 19, 20, and this circles back around, right? With his relationship with his mom and him finally asking some tough questions to her. And I guess we can wrap up with this story. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think so.
The last storyline that we're going to talk about is Dong-seok with his mother. And I mean, this relationship and these set of episodes is tough because I mean, I keep saying it's tough, but
the anger,
I felt, look, the mom
tough.
is so freaking detached and disassociated. Like, she's just spaced out. And I kept thinking, like, maybe she has something. Like, maybe he's right. Like, maybe she has some sort of mental illness that she's struggling with. And I could never, like, put my finger on it. I was like, the way she is looking around, like, I was like, where is she? She's not there. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't get past it. Because the flashbacks were so visceral. Were super visceral of her slapping him multiple times because he needs to call her aunt instead of mother, and her getting married within a month of the husband dying and all this stuff. Like, it's
or not even married,
mistress,
right? Just becoming a mistress.
And taking care of a sickly woman for 15 years, the wife for 15 years.
Yeah,
I was livid for him, and I could see why he was so angry.
Yeah, no,
it's so rough. It's so rough. So, how did you guys feel about this? And did you guys have thoughts on the mom and his reaction to her and the final moments with him and the trip that they take?
Well, yeah, I mean, she comes across as so frail and so weak, and everyone's like, why are you so mean to her? You know, why don't you take care of her? Look at her, she's so little. And then you find out why, and it's like, oh, it's there's layers upon layers in this drama, and they do a good job of, and like, again, there's no winners, you know. It's just like, yeah, you're not totally wrong to hate this person, but you know, you gotta do what you need to do sometimes to mend these relationships. Mm-hmm. So
there's a shit show that happens in Mokpo because they go to the stepdad's memorial service. I was like going like this, like I wanted to flip a table, and I wanted to not go to that memorial service as much as he did or did not want to go, because why the fuck would you want to go to that guy's memorial service and see the brothers again? And it ended up being even like only one brother was there, stepbrother was there. None of the step grandkids were there even. And Lee Byung-hun's character is indignant. He's crass. It ignites this fight between him and the abusive stepbrother who beat him to bits when they were younger.
And the mom comes
through. The mom actually says
defending him. Finally.
That because the stepbrother starts blaming him for the death of the dad. And I was like, whoa. Then the mom comes through.
Yeah.
The dad was an alcoholic. 30 years too late, she's defending him and saying, no, your dad was an alcoholic who got drunk and hurt himself after you sold off his boats and basically lost his fortune. We're in the process of losing his fortune, not that measly $20,000 that my son stole. That had nothing to do with why he ended up basically bedridden for the rest of his life or something, and died. So the mom sticks up for him and sets things straight with facts and tells the fam that there's nothing her son should be apologizing for. And she's super agitated all of a sudden because she's so passive the rest of the show. And you're so surprised. You're thinking, at this point, we're going to get somewhere when he confronts her and starts asking her shit. She's going to apologize or she's going to say something really profound. Brandon and Curtis, when he asks her, why didn't you ever apologize to me? It seemed like you were aware of how difficult my life was because of you. Do you even feel sorry? Do you really feel sorry about how you mistreated me and hurt me? She says, why should I feel sorry about you? And I nearly shut off the TV. I was like, oh, no. We're back to square one. Because I genuinely still can't understand why she wouldn't apologize. He's asking for it. He's confronting her directly. And she's still like, I can't think of anything I need to apologize for. She just said all that shit in front of those people. It was mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling to me. It was bothering me.
I think maybe in her mind, she's like, well, I kept you alive. Look, you're still alive. You know, a bare minimum of mothering is keep your kid from dying. And she did that.
I think that's right, Curtis. And, you know, not everyone becomes a mother because they want to. For some people, that's the cards that they're dealt. And I think you mentioned this earlier, Curtis, she did what she had to do to get herself by and make sure that her son had a roof over his head. Yes, I'm sure it hurt her, maybe not, seeing her kid get beat, but at least he got some meals, you know, had a house, and she is not educated, right? I don't think she even went to school. So honestly, how can you really, you know, she did what she could. I thought that was a really raw moment, because between Lee Byung-hun and the mom, they're saying, I don't owe you any apologies. But externally, she still defended him against the brothers, which I thought was nice.
I was confused because she still feels this pull toward this family that did not appreciate her, did not love her, treated her like shit, treated her son even worse. And she's still like, let me go over there and run this memorial service and bring them food and go to their weddings. And I was like, she treated that family so well. And in my mind, I'm like, for what? Like, to what end? Like, there was nothing there, no blood. Like, there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was confused about her loyalty to them.
Yeah.
And her lack of loyalty to her son. And absolutely, I felt way less angry at her when you put it in perspective that she was a simpleton. She had no education. She was illiterate, literally she was imminently dying of cancer, and she was still learning her ABCs. Very infantile of a personality. And she had this survivalist mentality where she was just like, I just need to eat. I just need a roof over my head. I just need this. I just need that. And despite all that, I was like, okay, but now he's an adult. You don't need to do shit for him. And he is, you know, he's hurt. He went no contact for years. You know he's hurt. That's your blood son. Why would you not say, I'm sorry? Like, I did the best I could.
Yeah, I know.
She just said, why would I feel sorry? Like, it was such, the wording as well. Like, I'm sure it was a translation, but I was like, this is the worst thing you could possibly say.
Yeah.
As well. So it was a lot of things at play.
Yeah, unless her long game was, okay, let me show up at this memorial service and finally tell these people off in front of my son. Unless that was her long game, which I don't know if that was. I mean, it worked out that's how it turned out. But yeah, I don't know why she would keep going back. It literally made no sense to me.
Okay, anyway.
Well, I think Korea is just very big on tradition, especially when it, you know, there is the mothers, doing air quotes, you know, responsibilities. And I think there's also a concept in Korea called chung. It just means that when you've spent enough time with someone, even if you're not related, you just develop some type of bond. And so my thought was, she just spent so many years with this family, and she was technically the matriarch, I guess, of that immediate family. You know, she still needed to do her duties every year. And so I didn't think too much of that, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've spoken about Chung. Maybe in the My Mister episode, Chung came up. But this is the level 1 of Chung versus level 10 maybe, because they hated her. Like they were like, why are you here? Why didn't you call? Like, oh my God, it was the worst. It was the worst. She was so unloved, and then she still went back to it was like bad habit. It was like a bad habit. Anyway, She dies. It is awful. The no music when she passes was a powerful choice to me. And then he decides to lie next to her and hugs her body and cries and calls her mom over and over again. Something that he refused to do throughout the show was call her mom.
Yeah.
And the voiceover just like is like
yeah.
a nice little bow, wraps it up real nicely. She never said she loved me or that she was sorry. My mom, Kang Ok-sung, made a bowl of my favorite food, doenjang soup, a stew. Then she returned to where she used to be. I hugged my dead mom's body and cried. That's when I realized something. I had never resented her my entire life. I just wanted to embrace and reconcile with her. I just wanted to hug her for a very long time and cry as much as I wanted. And I was like, he just wanted his mom. And she was always like, I'm not your mom, I'm your aunt. And I'm like, we're not gonna unpack this like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wanted it but didn't want it.
Yeah, well,
so
he's got time.
It was
he's gonna have to unpack it the next 70 years. Yeah.
Anyway, I love the show, and I'm so glad that both of you love the show and were into doing this episode with me and covering, I think, most of the storylines. If not, no, I think a couple of them were left off, but that's fine. We did pretty good.
I think we did pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, we did most of them.
2 hours later.
But that's fine.
Thanks, if you're still listening, thanks for sticking it out, man. We appreciate it.
Do you guys?
So real quick, the storyline that I not hated, but that I disliked the most was actually the Jong-ah and Eunhee's storyline. I thought that one was the weakest, but I'm curious, like, which one did you guys like the least?
So that one hit me like a ton of bricks because I was the Eunhee in a relationship when I was growing up. And I had a friend who looked like Pocahontas, and she was the Jong-hwa in the relationship, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt deeply for that relationship.
So it was personal to you.
Yeah. So I
mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the strongest.
No, compared to everything, you're kind of like, But yeah, it's deep. It was deep and it's real for me, maybe for a lot of people. But yeah. So thank you guys again for coming on and for coming on for a really long time to talk about this show.
Thank you for having us.
Before we get out of here, where can we find you guys online?
Probably Instagram is best for me, at Infatuasian Podcast. You'll see updates there.
And you can find us at Pocha Playlists across all of social media and anywhere that you like to listen to your podcasts.
Awesome. I'm Jessica, and this has been the K-Rambles podcast.